What's up, guys? I'm here with a live Jersey Boys podcast, solo pod. To just make an announcement, I wanted to make an announcement to the community, something that I'm working on. So I had an idea to market a podcast partnership program, and I've been doing that for the past probably 3 or 4 weeks. I mentioned it on a podcast earlier, and my idea was basically to hit up DraftKings, FanDuel, Barstool, and then eventually I hit up the UFC and Score Bet, trying to partner with them so that I can kind of uh, put together a bunch of the podcasts that the community that people do in the industry for the MMA community, and really get the MMA community and outside bettors into the community, outside DFS people into the community. So that's what I've been working on. That's what I was kind of um, I guess proposing to some of these sites. I did propose to a bunch. I had a job interview with FanDuel. Haven't received a ton of feedback, although I was able to pitch it to everybody. So I decided to just do it on my own. So what I'm going to do is, as part of my website, jerseyboysmma.com, what I'm going to look to do is allow people to submit. And let me share what I'm looking to do here so you can kind of see it too. But what I'm looking to do is allow people to submit your choice. So I'm asking anybody on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Parler, YouTube, anybody that watches my podcast or anybody else's podcast, submit a podcast. You could submit whatever you'd like, a website, to and we will, as a community, identify the best MMA betting podcast, DFS podcast, interview shows, right? Ariel Hawani and James Lynch probably have that locked down, but we'll put it up there, and any paid tout sites. So if you subscribe to Brett at Roto Grinders, or if you subscribe to Mad Lab at Guru Elite, or Semo, I'm a big fan of the free shows that they do, but I know that they have a paid subscription also. Um, Submit those. I'll put them all on the website. I'll fill out a Google form. There is a submission form there for submissions. And then on September 1st, I will take all those submissions, put them on a Google form, and then everybody can make 4 selections. You can pick your selection for the best betting podcast, DFS podcast, interview show, and tout website. If again you do subscribe to a tout website. If not, you can just you know not participate in that part of it. So I'm just trying to do something to kind of get more interest in the community from the outside people, because right now, obviously, betting is going to be legal in more states over the next few years. I believe it's legal in 11 states. It's not legal mobile betting in all states, but it is legal to about 11 states at this point. And with all that being said, I think DFS and betting is going to be legal in upwards of 30 to 40 states within the next 2 to 3 years. That's my guess. So I want to introduce these people to the community, the podcasting community, where they can get all this information, and kind of give everybody in the community some notoriety. So that's what I'm looking to do with my website. Again, jerseyboysmma.com is the website. I am looking to branch out on the website. I'm looking to make a Jersey Boys sports media website. Instead of the MMA media, I'm looking to go sports media. So I will look to branch out, but I'm going to start with just MMA now. Try to build a little bit of a following and get more people to contribute. And again, if anybody wants to contribute, whether it be a website, um, whether it be a podcast, whether it be an article, anything. I don't even mind if you have your own website and you want to throw some stuff on the Jersey Boys MMA media website. That's fine with me. So feel free to submit that. You can send it to my email, which is also on the website and in my the bio on YouTube. So again, anybody that has interest in submitting, whether it be someone from the community or the actual podcast themselves. I mean, you can submit your own podcast if you'd like. I'd be glad to do that, and I'm looking to start that up in on September 1st. So any submission from now to September 1st, I'll put together, start a Google form, and then I'll send that out on September 1st, and then it'll run for the month of September. I'll see how many people I can get involved. You know what I mean? For the first month, I would love to get 100 votes. That would be outstanding. If we can get 100 votes in the community, and then maybe as it picks up, get to 200, get to 300, maybe get to 1,000 at some point. And every month have winners, have a new winner every month. Maybe one month, for Tout Site, Brett and Verto Grinders wins. Maybe the next month it's Mad Lab and Guru Elite. But I think it's good, and it'll get all the people that subscribe to those sites more and more, invested and open their eyes to other podcasts that are out there. So that's what I'm looking to do with that. Again, the Google form to submit is on my website, and it's also going to be in the YouTube write up for this, so you can start submitting as of now. And then the next thing I figured I'd go into is just give you some of my plays for. Let me get the website up there. Stop sharing that, and I'll share some odds, some from FightOdds.io. And again, I use Fight Odds on my website, so we partnered up. So I use his odds when I go through this. So I'll just give you my quick picks and winners for this. And I'm really just looking at the main card for the most part. I'm not going to go all the way down to the bottom. But with this, my first pick on this card is going to be Verna. I think Verna is going to win this fight here. I don't love the minus 300, but if I do look at this, I may consider the sub prop. Let's see what that sub prop is. Verna wins inside distance plus 215. Verna wins by submission plus 220. I would take the plus 220. I think I'll throw small bet on Verna by submission plus 220. I think that's how this fight plays out. Um, so I would take that. I also, in this next fight up here, I would take Jim Miller, and I think Jim Miller is going to win by a sub also. I actually already have Jim Miller on a parlay. I parlayed him and DC. I believe I got him at minus 105, so I actually could have waited. I could have got better odds. Miller wins inside distance plus 235. Miller wins by submission plus 255. I'd probably go inside distance. I like that just in case, but I think Miller is going to be able to sub him here. I think Pacello is eventually going to have to take this to the ground. I mean, he should keep it on the feet personally, but if he takes it to the ground, Jim Miller's he's slick on the ground. Jersey boy, Jersey Jim. Next fight here, Merab and John Dodson. I really don't like these odds at all. If Merab was like minus 130, minus 140, I may bet that. I guess you could play the Merab by decision if you really want to go Merab. Let's see what Merab decision prop is, because that's what I think that's really what I think is going to happen in this fight. Merab by decision minus 170. It's not terrible, but I wish it was a better number than that, to be honest with you. Jack Dawson's good, man. He's fought really good competition. He's a good striker, and I just don't know, how many times Merab is going to be able to get John Dodson down, and if it stays on the feet for long periods of time, Merab could be at a disadvantage, especially early in the fight. And then again, John Dodson may be in a position where, he's able to stay on his feet and fight off the takedown attempts early, single legs, double legs. Rob pushing him up against the cage, and if he's able to do that and doesn't gas, I mean, this could stay on the feet for long periods of time. So it could be an ugly fight, but I love Merab. Merab trains over here in New York City with Sarah Longo, so I'm a fan. This next fight, Herbert Burns. I'm on Herbert. I think he wins this fight. I think he wins it inside the distance. We haven't seen Pineda in a while, so I'm going to go with Burns. I don't necessarily love the line because you just don't know what you're going to get in Pineda, but I got to go with Burns. I know he's not as experienced, but I do like Burns. He's looked good. In this fight, I don't really trust JDS. Yair, he had a tough one against against Ngannou. Got knocked out early, asked for that fight, and wasn't really ready. So I think Yair is going to find a way to find this win. Again, I still say it. I think he lost to. He was going to lose. I shouldn't say he lost because he did knock him out late, but he was very close to losing that fight to Alistair. So if JDS can make this a striking fight, I think Yair has a good shot here to stay on the feet. If it gets to the ground, I think JDS may have a little bit of an advantage. But if Santos can keep his distance, I think it's a 50-50 fight. I think it's somewhat of a toss up, between these two guys. This is the fight that everyone's been talking about all week: Sean O'Malley and Marlon Vera. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I love the fight also. I can't wait to watch it. This is going to be Sean O'Malley's coming out party. Could be. It could be Marlon Vera's kind of coming out party too if he gets a finish. I can't lie. I did bet this already. I took Vera by decision. I got it at plus 550. That's where I think this fight is going. I think it's going to go to the scorecards. I hear a lot of people saying O'Malley first round. He looked so good in his last fight, in his last few fights. Other than the broken foot, I think it was that. He probably should have lost that fight if there was some more fight IQ. But for the most part, I think that Marlon, if he comes out, he has a tendency in round one to just kind of flow through round one and not really put too much work in. And I think that's his problem. But I also think that that's a reason why it's going to get to round two and get to the scorecards. Just because of Marlon's, I don't want to say lackadaisical approach, but he's very cautious in round one. He kind of feels out his opponent. Sean O'Malley, again, is from what I've seen, he is a very good counterpuncher, but he does like to lead a dance and close that distance to get in and strike. I don't know what Marlon's going to look to do early. I think that there's going to be some grappling and taking him down. And then this last fight here, the main event, Stipe and DC. I'm on DC here, and I think the fight finishes. So if you want to take him inside the distance, that's fine. But I'm on DC, and I think that he had Stipe in all kinds of trouble in that second fight. The first fight, some people said it was, he had that inside shot, but it was more of a, I don't want to say a lucky punch because, DC basically said they saw it on tape. But I think that in that second fight, he was really giving it to Stipe for upwards of, what was it, 3 rounds. And then I guess the late third of the fourth round, Stipe started going to the body. And those body shots just accumulated. He killed DC. I think DC's just got to keep on with his same game plan and mix in some more takedowns. I'm just not sure why he wouldn't just mix in those takedowns, especially I don't know what his gas tank's going to look like. The retirement talk does worry me. I usually don't say that, but if you listen to Dana and a lot of other people in the community, they don't think this is DC's last fight, especially if he wins. If he loses, I could see it being his last fight. But if he wins, he's got that big money fight with John Jones, and I truly believe that. I don't think DC is out of this for any. He's right there. He's right there with the belt, and if he has the belt, I don't think he's going to walk away. He wants that last shot with John Jones. He's got nothing to lose. What's the worst thing that happens? Lose again to John Jones? So I like DC here, and I like Stipe. I'm a big fan of Stipe. By the way, I've had every one of these fights wrong. The first fight, I was on Stipe and DC won. The second fight, I was on Stipe. No, I'm sorry. I was on DC and Stipe won. So now this fight, take it for what it's worth. I already bet Cormier. I took Cormier and Jim Miller in a parlay. Pretty good odds because they're both like even money, odds right now. So I parlayed those two with a nice little bet. So that was my first bet, and then my second bet was Marlon Vera decision. I believe it paid plus 550. There are some other bets that I do like that I mentioned, those submission bets, but I want to see what they look like, what the odds look like closer to Saturday. And again, please participate, submit your podcasts, submit your betting podcast, DFS podcast, whatever it is that you do in the community, and hopefully we can get everybody more views. I just introduce a whole bunch of new people coming into the community to the podcast that have been around. And that's really my goal. So good luck. Appreciate you listening. and I hope you win some bets this week.